Hello, my name is Chris, and I'm here today to talk to you about my CM7 service learning project. This semester, I volunteered 20 hours at the Dakota Eco Garden. The Dakota Eco Garden is a nonprofit organization that was founded by Nancy Wadlow in July of 2012. At the Dakota Eco Garden, they open it up to all walks of life, regardless of race, gender, or age. Their goal there at the Dakota Eco Garden is to empower formerly homeless people with skills needed for self-sufficiency lifestyles that enable happiness and success. And so while we were there working and volunteering, we mainly focused on working in the EcoPod structure that they're currently building right now. And this is a cool project that they got going on. It's a really sufficient shelter that they're making for an individual to live in. The main thing about it is it's going to rotate during the day away from the sun to help keep the EcoPod cool. Something that's really cool, I thought. Also, what they're going to do is, or what they have done, is they have a vent that's underneath the ground, and it brings cool air up from the ground and blows it into the EcoPod during the summer when they flip the switch for the fan. And this is really going to help cool the house down. It's going to be easier than sucking the hot air from outside straight into the EcoPod. Better, it's going to take the cold air from the ground and it's going to blow it in the EcoPod. It's going to make it a lot more sufficient for cooling the house down. Something that I found really cool. So while we were working there, some of the things we did was we did the electrical inside this EcoPod. We hooked up light switches for the LED lights. Another thing we did was we worked on there's one big window in there, and it's a round window. We worked on the frame for that window, and we set the glass and the glazing. We did all that, and we installed the window in the EcoPod. And then this last weekend when I was there, we installed laminate flooring in the EcoPod. So my construction experience influenced me to take on some of the harder tasks at the Dakota Eco Garden that needed to get done. Specifically, the installing the laminate flooring. Since it wasn't a square structure like we're used to, this one was a round structure, so it took a lot more preciseness and skill to make the cuts, especially on the edges and on the walls. It took a lot of freehand because each piece was custom and there was no straight lines. It was just freehanding on a bandsaw. I also used a scroll saw, and I did a lot of cuts on the table saw as well, freehand. And like I said, my experience just helped me be comfortable with doing these cuts. They're a little bit more dangerous, and you have to be a little bit more precise. You don't have a fence to work with and stuff, so you really have to know what you're doing, and you really gotta just complete the tasks right. My experience helped me do that. Three great things I learned from working at the Dakota Eco Garden. Number one is I learned the value of giving back to the community. I did some community service work in high school, and while working at the Dakota Eco Garden, I really felt my impact there. And other community service things that I did, I felt like I was helping the community, but when I was working at the Dakota Eco Garden, I felt like I was immediately impacting it, and I feel like I was immediately making a difference there. That was something I really thought was cool, and I really made me appreciate going there, and made it not so much a job. It made me want to go there, made me want to help these people out. And that leads me to my second thing, which is when I was working there, a great lesson I learned was that the people there, they really appreciate all the volunteers and what they do. They really are grateful for what we go there and do. And this is something that you don't get that so much when you just work in regular construction. You get like congratulated and stuff for completing your tasks or whatever. You might get a good job or whatever, but when you go and volunteer and you do stuff for people that are less fortunate, they're really grateful for what you do, and they're really grateful for you being there. And that's a good lesson I learned, and I really like that feeling of giving back and having someone appreciate what I was doing. And then lastly, the lesson I learned was that it takes a lot of selfless people to run nonprofit organizations like this. There's lots of volunteers that go there every single weekend instead of being at home with their families, and they help manage volunteers like me and other kids from construction management classes. And they lead them on projects and stuff there at the Dakota Eco Garden. And like I said, it just takes a lot of selfless people, and it was really cool to see those people giving so much to better other people's lives. And I really appreciated it, and it really kind of made me take a look at myself and my life and what am I doing to help better people. And so, yeah, that was a great lesson learned. And all in all, I think the service learning was a great thing. This is the first time I've had to do it in one of my classes here at Fresno State. And when I first heard about it, I wasn't too thrilled about it. But now at the end of the semester, I'm really glad that I took this class. I'm really glad that I volunteered some time this semester to give back to the community. It makes me feel better about myself, and it just makes me feel great that I helped someone out and I helped this community out. So I really like this, that the construction management program is having us do these community service things, and I really think it's a cool thing that sets Fresno State apart and their departments apart. So thanks for listening. Fun talking to you.